and our bodies. For a lot of us, our feelings or other people's feelings about our bodies can be tied up in gender and gender expression. This can show up in a lot of ways for both cisgender, heterosexual men and women, and for people in the LGBTQ+ community. For those of us in larger bodies, we might be expected to conform to certain types of gender expression to be considered acceptable. Many women may feel pulled to express their gender in hyper-feminine ways, e.g., fat women can still be attractive as long as they're wearing lots of makeup and dressed like a 1950s pinup. This ties into cultural ideas we have about bodies only being valuable when they are sexually attractive to others. When we engage in body policing, it's often based around this idea of desirability. Gender-based violence also occurs within this context of power and control over people's bodies. While we all live in a context in which bodies and gender expression are heavily policed, this can have a particular impact on transgender people, as well as cisgender queer people. Transgender women are subject to intense scrutiny around their gender expression and faced with implicit and explicit pressure to present a certain kind of gender performance. Transmisogyny tells us that trans women are only valuable when they are attractive, and that they are only attractive when they look like cisgender women. Their bodies might be hypersexualized by others, and this can be heightened for trans women of color. Ideas around what are acceptable ways for women to look can lead to an increased likelihood of trans women experiencing disordered eating while under pressure to have a smaller body. Similarly, trans men face pressures to have muscular bodies in order to conform to a masculinity ideal. The most represented ideal of what a non-binary person looks like is typically white, thin, and vaguely masculine in their styling, imposing body-related pressures even on people who don't fit a predetermined gender ideal. Beyond the interpersonal, trans people can face body-related policing and oppression on the institutional level, with some surgeons denying trans-masculine people access to top surgery unless they lose weight, or biased medical professionals questioning whether to give a trans woman access to hormone replacement therapy because she didn't show up to her appointment in a skirt. Body size, gender expression, and their intersections with other important aspects of identity, like race and ability, can lead to us carrying around a lot of pressure, sometimes because we internalize these problematic ideals, and sometimes because we're moving through a world where other people have. Body policing can happen both within and outside the LGBTQ+ community. Queer men on hookup apps might be faced with profiles with oppressive language like "no fats, no femmes." Queer women might experience some pressure to present in more masculine clothes or haircuts in order to feel visible to their community, while at the same time experiencing backlash from straight culture for defying beauty norms. These examples are really only scraping the surface on the ways in which cultural expectations around bodies and gender can confine us. As you navigate your own relationship with your body and your gender, take a minute to notice which of these harmful narratives have been planted inside you and how they might be influencing you. Building awareness of how these narratives have taken root in us can be the first step in starting to weed the garden. Your body is yours, and